الذين بالمسيح أتممتم المسيح قد
Good afternoon, fellow believers
and travelers.
and good people everywhere.
We're going to talk a little bit today about that cowardly Jussie Smollett, the young man who's had a marvelous run with the show, with the very successful television show Empire, and who staged a hate crime to somehow further his career. I don't know how that could further his career. It could certainly bring him to the limelight, but he did so much damage. The city of Chicago, with all of the violent crime, didn't need another reason for a hate crime. And not only did he stage the thing, but he staged it as a hate crime. And we've talked about on this program, on these videos, we've talked about how polarized the country is. And whose fault is it? I mean, it's the fault of somebody who wants to further themselves at the expense of the reputation of other people. How could this man have benefited from it? He's going to be off the show, obviously. But what would motivate somebody to do something like that? A publicity stunt? I can think of lots of other ways to do publicity stunts. There are lots of positive things that you can do to draw attention to yourself. But to fake a beating, it's beyond me. It's beyond what I can believe. And we're talking about we're going into Lent now, and we're talking about things that we should be thinking of that elevate our thoughts. And this does nothing. I hope they throw the book at him. Apparently he's been charged with 16 or 18 felonies, 18 crimes. And I hope they throw the book at him. I don't normally have such strong opinions, but he was a thriving young actor. He had a good job, a good life. Who wouldn't give what to have had the opportunity that he had? What could motivate? And I need some help here. What would motivate something like that?
It's perverse, demonic, therefore evil. You know, the devil is, diabolos is the great divider.
Inspired by evil, you're right.
Yeah, and so this is what we're going to talk about later on when we talk about Great Lent and Holy Week and so forth. He became a tool. There's no sin without the will. He willfully incited hate crime in order to further the division in this country.
In order to further himself, but he knew that he has to have known, as a young black man, he has to have known the consequences of his actions. And I think he kind of counted on him.
He did, and he thought his notoriety, if anything went awry, would get him off the hook. All it did was show that he's a little man.
Is there any saving grace for him?
No.
Is there any?
No, it shows him to be a little man. I mean, any young man would give their right arm to have what he had, and he threw it away for whatever insane reason, I don't know. It's beyond me. For me, he was one of the most sympathetic characters on Empire whenever we would watch it. And now all I could think of, here's an awful person. There's an awful person in that body. And because of his notoriety, he influenced a lot of other people, and who continue to think that and would like to perpetuate the idea that our country is divided, and that young black gay guys or people cannot thrive in this world without being beaten up and so on and so forth, and it's all blamed on you know who.
The interesting thing is that when it first happened, so many celebrities came out and were behind him and spoke out for him and jumped on his team. But since it's been called a hoax, since it's been revealed as a hoax, none of those celebrities have apologized. None of those celebrities have apologized and jumped on. They were so fast to jump on the hate bandwagon, but none of them have been critical of him as a person for cooperating with evil. I guess it's just easier to jump on a hate bandwagon than it is to say you did something wrong and let's correct it.
Well, it's a great human tragedy for our country that needs all the love it can possibly receive, generate, and so forth. And all he did was throw us right down the pit of Hades.
I doubt there's a future for him in show business.
No, he blew it. And you know, let that be a lesson for young people. Think before you do things. When God has given you so many wonderful gifts, think before you throw it away over one insane or crazy act. Make the sign of the cross. Say the Jesus prayer. Whatever, before you throw your life away. God has given us precious life. Don't throw it away.
And essentially that's what he's done. He's thrown it away. All right, that's all I have to say on the subject. It was a bit of a rant, but it's incomprehensible to me that somebody that had so many gifts and so much promise couldn't recognize it, wanted something more, and was willing to risk peace and harmony.
As a priest, I saw that a great deal with young people that got into gambling and sex addiction. And they were almost willing to throw their whole blessed lives away over gambling or doing drugs.
And these are people with privilege.
People with privilege. Get on your knees and thank God for your parents, your grandparents, your church, and your faith. Before you jump into something stupid, make the sign of the cross. Say the Jesus prayer. O Lord Jesus Christ, the Son of God, have mercy upon me, a sinner.
And ask where it's coming from.